Welcome to another episode of Drag Talk with me, Ariel Allure, where we'll be going over RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18, Episode 4, the Mashup Design Challenge. Before we get into the episode, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss another upload with me. There are a few exciting things coming down the pipeline end of this month into next month, and I'm sure you don't want to miss it. Okay, so if you watched the last episode kind of left on a cliffhanger because we ended up finding out that Mia and Briar Blush had a little bit of tension. Well, it starts off with a bang and they get back into the workroom and all hell breaks loose. Mia Star decides to confront Briar about, hey, I want to apologize. And then Briar interrupts Mia. And that was when the diarrhea started. First of all, we needed to get into Can You Please Her a little bit later, because where in the world did that come from? That's going to be one of those lines that goes down in history in the Drag Race fandom. Once Mia Star said, all right, little girl, keep it cute, yeah, I was already like, oh, girl, you in danger. I feel like they rightfully did come for Briar, because you can't be a hypocrite pretty much and be around here bothering everybody when they don't want to be, engaged with. But yet when somebody does it to you, you want to boo-hoo, cry, wham. Yeah, it don't go like that. You can't have your cake and eat it too. That's just not life. The funniest part to me about the opening sequence was honestly after they get off the couches and they're going to de-drag and Athena and Juicy kind of start talking and Briar comes up talking about trying to take up for Juicy. Why in the world are you getting involved in family-ish? Why? No. Yes, you are developing this friendship with Juicy, but at the end of the day, the Deons, they know how to communicate and talk to each other. They already have an established relationship. You getting into the middle of it actually just makes it worse for you. So the next day they come back into the workroom and they get their challenge, which is they pair up with their bestie, which we should know by now is always a setup. Don't ever pair up with your bestie. They are then told that for the Maxi Challenge, it is another design challenge. So this is the second design challenge in the span of 4 episodes, which I am finding very interesting. I have a few theories on it. Well, not a few theories, just one. And I kind of want to keep it to myself because I need to research it more before I fully present it. Because I don't want to be one of those types that doesn't have an actual backing to my theories and just start talking ish on the internet for no damn reason. Anywho, I have rambled. They find out that they're doing a mash-up design challenge where you have 2 red carpet looks. You got to put them together and create something that is within not a replica of either one of the looks, but something within your drag wheelhouse inspired by the 2 red carpet looks. Now, I'm going to be very honest. There were very few looks that I liked in this challenge. Overall, I'm thinking a really quick rundown. Off the top, there are only 2 that I can think of that I actually enjoyed, possibly a third. We'll get into it. They did have a board with a cute pit stop crew member that helped assist in choosing. They were all from 1 to 12, and they just had to pick random numbers, and that's how they got their mashup. First pairing was Juicy Love Dion and Briar Blush. Juicy, I believe, picked Lil Nas X, and Briar Blush did Rihanna from the Met, which is one of my favorite looks. Rihanna and the Met Gala, they go together so beautifully. Getting into Juicy's look, I'm going to be looking at my phone for this. One moment. Juicy's look wasn't bad. However, she keeps... There kind of is this... All right, let me not be mean. I wonder how much of it she actually did. Because this, I will say, is a drastic improvement from the first challenge. And I thought she didn't know how to sew. So I'm a little leery of how, because I know in in the workroom, they did show that she had that body hooded piece, right? Okay, so she makes that. But all the other parts, she said she didn't know how to make the train, and Jane Don't was going to help her out with that. And then I'm looking at this and the shoulder pads. I'm like, does she actually know how to put in a proper shoulder pad? So it's little things like that, excuse me, where how to make the train, putting in the shoulder pads, those little extra details that actually made the garment what it was. I'm wondering if she actually did it herself. I agree with the critique where the fur trim, it shouldn't have been on the pom pom area. So outside of that, it is a decent looking garment. I'm just wondering how much of it Juicy really did. Going to her partner, Briar Blush, neck up loved. Gave very much the Rihanna hairstyle, which she did say she was inspired from. Everything else, no. No. Surprisingly enough, that hot pink and the yellow looked a lot more jarring on Briar than it did Juicy, which I found it fascinating to me. Yeah, no. But we'll get into Briar a little bit later and what happens with her. Next grouping is Discord Adams and Jane Don't. They have Bob Mackie sheer look as well as a Sarah Paulson green spiky look. Getting into Jane Don't, I don't like it. Everybody was raving over it. Yes, it looks like a very well constructed garment. She knows how to sew. Apparently there's a reference that I do not know. It is very old-timey, gives me very 20s. I don't like it. I don't like that green. I don't like the paneling. I'm just trying to figure out how they thought this was going to go together. This neon green with that black. Yeah, they both had the spike details and the fringe. That was all cool, but I did not like this at all. Her makeup is gorgeous. The face is gorgeous. Everything else, no. Discord Adams. Again, okay, there was that walk. I'm not even going to get into the walk anymore. Everybody gets her attention about the walk. If she fixes, she fixes it. If she don't, she don't, because it's getting a laugh out of room. We all know we want to make mother laugh. So I'll just say she need to stand up straight, because she definitely is going to mess her body up, if she don't start standing up straight. The top part of this garment where it's all beaded and I will say Bob Mackie-esque, gorgeous. Everything else, don't like it. I don't like the slits. I don't like the fur trim. No. Next up, let's get into Mikey Meeks and Nene Coco. They got the J.Lo Versace dress and a Nicki Minaj look. Now, I'm pretty sure this was taped prior to Minaj going to the other side, to the dark side. So we all know that Nicki was a very big influence inside the queer community. So I see why her looks would be included in such a challenge. I'm going to start off with Nene didn't like it. Again, this is another one of those, it's well constructed, yes. Can see that she can construct the garment, that face. Nene has one of the... I've really been struggling with who has the best mug on this season. Sometimes it's Briar. She looks absolutely gorgeous. Juicy looks absolutely gorgeous. But if we're talking about someone who's always changing the color scheme and just the look of it and the blowout, Nene Coco is so good at this. Mikey Meeks, the face is gorgeous. Love the crown. I actually like this outfit. I do agree that she got a little applique heavy. I actually would have changed that blue under to maybe if they had, because of course they're using the materials that they are provided with. I wonder if they had like a flesh tone or a brown. I know she wanted to probably possibly pull in a little bit more of the blues from the jungle safaris and all that stuff, but I would have liked the whole base to be that cheetah. So it's like a nice see-through sheer brown and had the jumpsuit over it. So just change that blue to the brown. And then, yeah, she's just holding on to the jungle fabric just like a shawl. So I don't know what else you would have done with that. It's not bad. Between the two, actually like Mikey Meeks's more. For me, Mikey Meeks would have won. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. So the other ones, I couldn't choose from between the other ones. Juicy Love Dion, yeah, she was more obvious. Discord and Jane Don't, I couldn't decide because I hated them both. Just for pure beating purposes, and I guess if I had to choose one, I'll pick Discord. Yeah, I liked Mikey Meeks more between Mikey and Nene. Apologies if this video seems a little bit rushed this week. I am trying to maintain uploads, but also I have 50 million other things on my plate, and I actually have to complete another project for something coming up. Again, like I said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because I do have a few goodies coming down the pipeline. Next, we're going to get into Sierra Mist and Kenya. They had Lady Gaga's meat dress and then the Britney and Justin denim couples outfit. And the fact that I was around for both of these is just psycho. Getting into Sierra Mist's outfit, this was one of the outfits that I will say that I did enjoy a lot. I liked a lot of the details. It looked couture. And I liked the meat twine detail around the denim part. That was genius. If I had to be nitpicky, just slightly nitpicky, I wish that the area where it was red and it's supposed to look like flesh and bring in that meat aspect, I wish she took some of that meat fabric and used that. That way it looked like it was the marbling, because that's the one thing that is missing out of that red area, is the marbling to make it look like it's the meat and the fats of, steak. Kenya Pleaser, unfortunately, so the shape of the dress is gorgeous. I do love the shape. She looks darling. However, no. The hair, I don't even like. Her face is gorgeous. No. I like I see where she was going, but no. I see neither one of the components in this, just maybe by colorways. Like, okay, yeah, you have the denim. Yeah, you have the red. But everything else, it looks more Cowboy Carter Western than pop. So for that round, I would give it to Sierra Mist. Next up is my favorite group, Mia Star and Vita Fonte Star. They actually had what I believe is to be the most unique mashup, as they had Katy Perry's Chandelier Met Gala outfit from 2019 Camp and Lil' Kim's boob out purple dress, a classic in just pop culture history. I appreciated about this, Mia knew, in her words, that Vita was gonna dog walk her, and that did come to fruition. So we're gonna get straight into Mia's outfit. I think a lot of people were blowing smoke up Mia's butt. I love Mia. I love Mia. I love my baby mama. The boob is out. Yeah, you get the essence. However, whatever she did, that's just that purple stripe coming in. No, I'm surprised, Law. The power of the breast. Because I'm surprised Law did not get on her about that. Just that little scrinkly little. I'm surprised. So, yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't like Mia's. Then you get to Vita Fonte Star, and I'm looking at her like, are y'all sure y'all got the same materials? Where did she get this? But it's because of construction and skill. Vita killed it. Absolutely killed it. And she actually did integrate the concepts a lot more. You can see from the sketch, too, that she was going to kill this. Loved this outfit. This was another one, and she won as she should have. She should have won the last one as well. If we're going strictly off of design, her umbrella work is still genius. I feel like the umbrella dress should go into the same Hall of Fame as Utica's sleeping bag dress, because umbrellas, for real, and you look like that. Just my opinion. The last mashup is Briar Blush and Athena Love Dion, and I kind of feel bad for Athena because it seems like she's getting picked last or she chooses last. I would love to see her have her own choice in things, or she's always being persuaded to do something else. I don't know what's up with Athena. I don't know if she's letting her reputation outside of the competition get the better of her in the competition. So she thinks outside, she's doing so well and great. And I will say outside drag is very different from this show's drag. 100,000% true. With that being said, this is the second time that Darlene and Athena are working together or have been in the same group. And Darlene is just a little sweetheart, so I do like them together. They get Kim Kardashian's floral Met Gala look, and then the Zendaya Mugler Archive Dune premiere look, which that was a very odd combination. How do you have metal chrome and then florals? I don't understand how Athena won this mashup. The silver is not appealing. That cape, no. She was working on something in the workroom where it was kind of a floral beaded overlay material, and I think she was going to put something underneath that. That was gorgeous, but this no. Darlene's wasn't that much better, but if I had to pick between the two, I actually preferred Darlene's. I think the only reason why they didn't give it to her is because they didn't like the shoes. Now, yes, are those shoes a little clunky? Do they go with that outfit? No, they are clunky and they do not go with the outfit. But everything else about this, I actually do like. I like how she incorporated her metal with that metal choker piece. They were raving about, even her metal. I'm looking at this now. Her silver on Darlene's outfit looks a lot better than Athena's silver. So I don't know what they were doing with this judging with these people this week. The only thing that they got right was Vita Von Teese better have won. Period. So the top three of the week are Jane, Sierra Mist, and Vita Von Teese. I see why they picked them. I see how Jane gets picked. I see how Sierra gets picked. We all know why Vita got picked, and Vita wins. Rightfully so. At the bottom, you have Briar Blush, Discord, and Can You Please Her? I see why Discord was in the bottom. I personally would have put Athena in the bottom three, not Discord. But Athena won her round, so technically she couldn't be in the bottom three. But then the final bottom two are Briar Blush and Can You Please? Before we get into the lip sync, let's talk about Briar Blush feigning. I don't think she faked it. I don't. I've watched it a couple of times back, and that she went from, so when Laura Roach was like, "Don't look at me like that," and so she's looking at him and she's trying to keep her face straight because you can see the emotion building up on her face, right? So Laura's like, "Don't look at me like that," and then he's like, "No, look at me like that," and she does this little slight smile. Right after that, her eyes go blank. Like the lights go out. And that's when she stumbles. Now, I've never been in such a situation like that. So I am curious if you wake up out of it like that. Because she never closed her eyes. It looked to be like her eyes stayed open the whole time. And then she comes back in and she's like, "Oh, wow, I fell." That's the part where I think a lot of the questioning is coming in as to whether or not it's real. I don't think it's the initial fall down. I think it's how she comes back into consciousness. Apparently she was sick even after we find out on what your pack is. She had pneumonia, and then the pneumonia wasn't being treated properly and it developed into something else. I am just glad that Briar is okay. Girl, keep your health in check intact. However, I did find it, I guess if she gets clear from the medic and everybody and she feels strong enough to can come back into the competition, and then they have her lip sync, which is kind of diabolical. However, she should have been at the bottom too, so you gotta do what you gotta do. Kenya and Briar do a lip sync. Kenya does a better job. Briar goes home. Sad. That's a sad way to go home. I'm not gonna hold you. You faint. Everything kind of builds up, and then you end up going home. That does suck, but I hope Briar is good. As of episode 4, I am rooting for the stars, Mia Star and Vita Von T Star. I am also rooting for Kenya Pleaser. From a competition aspect, purely, I am rooting for Jane Don't. However, personality-wise, Jane's not my favorite. So the first 3 were personalities and competition. Jane Don't is purely for competition. And that's it so far. So that is all for this week's Drag Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss anything coming up with me. Who are you rooting for? Do you have any opinions? We are only at episode 4. Have you even developed any opinions on your top front runners? Do you think Briar faked her falling? Because the critiques got to her and she just wanted a little bit of attention. Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. And until next time, be safe, be kind, spread love, not hate. Peace.